Hello, this is Dylan Gallent, and this is my solution to coding problem set for the word game, part B, which works around our computer. So in this code, we were given a lot of starter code, which explains how the computer works, right here and right here. But once we get down to the play game feature, this is where we implement our own code. So I did this a little bit differently than it asked. I actually added an entirely separate feature that I will talk about at the end. I will go through all the default features that is asking us to implement, and then I'll explain how I added my own. So right here we are asking the user to input in R or E, just like the last one, where we were looking for a new hand, redo the last hand, or to exit the game. After we do that, we ask U or C to see if we want the user to play or we want the computer to play. And then we have to switch the functionality between them. So I started with two different things, which are last hand, which is none, and playing, which is true. Playing is mostly for the feature that I'm going to talk about, which is B, back and forth mode. But we'll get back to that in a little bit. So first, we just need to make sure there's a while loop that's just always running so we can keep coming back to it. And then I did another one right here. So while true, we're asking the user for input in R or E, and of course B. If the user inputs E, we say, hey, thanks for playing. Playing is going to be equal to false, and we break the code. So we break the while loop. So we break that one right there. We would then come out here, and then if playing is false, we break it right here as well. And the reason we do that is that breaks this loop. So that's why we do playing for E. We also use it for B. We'll come back to B in a minute. If the user inputs N or E, we simply just break this loop and move on to the next one. Else, we say you have an invalid input, and we run the code again. So hypothetically, we're going to say we put in N or R. Once we do that, we're going to come down here and look at while true. We're going to do a second, so we did the user input, now we're doing the play input. We're going to look for U or C, which is representative of the user play or the computer play. As long as it's one of those, we break it, else we ask, hey, you didn't input the right thing, please try again, and it keeps running. If the user previously entered N, we're going to make sure that the last hand is equal to the deal hand and hand size. And then if they did R, if there is no last hand, we say, hey, you've not played a last hand yet, please make a new hand, and then we'll continue, because otherwise there's already a last hand. Then we get down to U and C. If play input is equal to U, we're going to play using the last hand, the word list, and the hand size. And then else, if it's C, we're going to have the computer play a hand using the last hand, word list, and hand size. So once we get down to that, we can say use a new hand. So I'm going to play a new hand with the user. I'm going to say, we'll do 1, and cut. And I got a score of 33. So then I'm going to replay that hand, have the computer do it. I'm going to see what the computer does. So right here, the computer inputs not, and gets a score of 45. So obviously beat me with a longer word. Then I will go for a new hand with the computer. They get these letters, they put shirt, and get 155 points because they used every single word. Very impressive. I don't think I can do better than that, so I can still do, I'll still replay that hand. I'll do me. I'm just going to put skid, was the first word I saw, and her. Her works just fine. I get 54 points. And then we can use E to exit the game, just like that. Right here, thanks for playing. Now, the feature that I chose to add was this back and forth mode. I found the most interesting way to play this is where the user gets a new hand, and then it repeats the hand and gives it to the computer, and you compare how you did versus how the computer does. And it just keeps doing that over and over again. So how I did that was right in here. If the user inputs B, we once again want to put playing as equal to false so that we don't do any of the other code in this while loop. Instead, we're just going to run this code over and over again. So while true, we're going to go ahead and create the last hand, which is equal to deal hand, hand size, play the hand, and then we're going to have the computer play the hand. Now this is just running the code how I said it, where we play a new hand, and then the computer plays the hand that we just did. We then do another while loop. We're looking for an exit input, so we're looking for C if you would like to continue, or E if you want to exit. If the exit input is equal to one of those, we're going to break this while loop because we no longer need it. Else, hey, you did an invalid input, please try again and put another one. If it is equal to E, we're simply going to break it, and then otherwise it's just going to keep running. And that is the entirety of the back and forth function, so we're going to see how that works. So if I do back and forth, I just type B, and now I can say, let's see, I'll do fuss, and I'm assuming yucks isn't a word. We're just going to give it a try. No, it's not, so I'm just going to pass it. And now the computer comes in, and he goes, fussy, of course. And I didn't know that zoo was a word, but it used all the points. I got 73, so clearly did a lot better than me. I can say I can continue or exit. We'll go ahead and continue. Gives me a new one. How about we do, do skuck word? Yep, apparently. And then I don't think that rec is a word like that. No, pass it. The computer does geck for the exact same amount of points, so we tied. Very nice. And then I can simply exit just like that, and it once again says, thanks for playing. So that is the PS4B with all of the computer play game functions, and including my own, which is back and forth. Thank you very much.